Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan challenge day 12. Ramadan challenge day 12. Today our words are going to be hashara, fasad, shatta, mujrim, and falaq. The first word hashara, right? You've seen a hashara yahshuru means to collect or to gather, right? So the awwal al-hashr. الأول الحشر when we're talking about sort of the hashr, which is the gathering of the people that were against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then sending them out of town, evicting them because they had broken their treaty, right? And Yom al Hashr, the day that Allah collects everybody, right? Everybody is collected together on a plateau, and we're gonna be gathered for the reckoning. Right, so everybody's gathered, no matter where they are, scattered in the earth or what have you. They're collected together. So we have hashr in that sense. And then you have words like hashara, right, or hasharat, right, and the relationship between that is that this is a collective word for all of these little insects, right? It doesn't matter what they are; they're just all hasharat, right? And usually they're not by themselves anyway, right? They're usually in groups, right? They're collectively in groups and never by themselves, right? So you have hasharat, hashara and hasharat for insects. Next word is fasad. Now fasad comes from fasada. Yafsudu means to spoil, right? So if you can use that for a milk that, for example, that's gone bad, right? Fasadat al-halib, right? So it's spoiled. So when we're talking about religious text, we're talking about fasad, and we're talking about you're pretty much messing up things, right? You're doing what you're not supposed to do. وَيُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. Right, fasad, right? They spread corruption, right? The corruption is a better translation of that, right? They corrupt things that are wholesome as they are, and then are then corrupted to make it something else, to make it diluted, to make it not as wholesome as it used to be. The next word is shatta. The shatta, right? You've seen it in the form of shattana baynahuma, right? And shatta, yashittu, all right? Shattanan, right, is to split. It's a split, to break up, right? So when you're talking about shattana baynahuma, you're talking about a great distance between the two, a great difference between the two. It's a splitting between the two. So you have shatta, right, eating in the surah, I can't remember the surah now, where it says that there's no problem with you eating together or eating shatta, right, which is eating separated, and not together, right? So you have that shatta, meaning to split or to be separate. And then you have mujrim. Mujrim comes from jarama, jim, ra, mim, which is to cut, right? So the Arabs used to use this word when they would take a tree and you would cut it from its roots, right? Or whenever you wanna harvest crops, right? You cut them from their stem or from the stalk. That is jarama, right? Sarima would be the equivalent of that, huh? So that is like what you do when you harvest, right? You cut. So, and then you have a mujrim that's cutting something from its roots, right? It's killing it, right? It's killing it. It's cutting it from its roots, just like when they harvest things, right? So a mujrim, right, is somebody that's technically, right, is somebody that commits a crime, right? He's cutting something from where it should be placed. It should be at, right? So he's a mujrim. Ajrama yujrim, fahuwa mujrim, right? And jurm as well. For la jarama also comes from that, right? Without being cut, without being removed from its asl, from its where it's supposed to be. Like definitely it's gonna be there. It's gonna be so la jarama annahum fil akhirati humul akhsarun, right? Definitely it's not gonna be cut. It's not gonna change that situation for them. Is not gonna change. They're definitely gonna be of the losers. And the last word is falak. Falak, fa, lam, kaf is to circumnavigate, or to circulate, or to orbit, right? So when you have a falak, وَكُلُّهُمْ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ, when we're talking about the sun orbits, right? We know that now from that the sun orbits galactically. There's an orbit for it, just like the moon orbits around the sun and around the earth, and the earth orbits around the sun, right? كُلُّهُمْ فِي فَلَكٍ يَسْبَحُونَ. So they're all orbiting, they're all going in a circle motion, in a circle pattern, right? So then folk then comes from that as well.